to handle out with respect to the all the operations we are going to be do. So this is a very basic way to approach, and we're going to be see somehow with respect to the plotting, how does it going to be very helpful to do some of the check boxes and other things. So this is the data set we had with regard in some companies data sets, the revenue, operating cost, somehow with respect to the profit. So how does it going to be helpful? If I click on this bar, okay, if I click on this bar, the revenue is going to be changing by using the time period, right? So this is very interesting plot to visualize the things when compared to, if I click next, maybe you can see the time is increasing from 2011 to 2012, from 2011 to 20, by decreasing the time, it becomes increasing, right? So I'm changing the time frame with respect to this bar. So how do you get this bar? As we already know about, in the insert we have option called checkbox, right? We have option called checkbox, and we have option called spin button, and also the scroll bar. So if I select the spin button, okay, if I select the spin button, if I just click on this, you will get right and top. If I select, suppose if I select this one, scroll bar, yeah, you can see here something is very interesting. But how to attach with respect to the cell, and what are the different operations to encounter it? You can also resize it, that does not matter with us. So if you want to encounter any kind of the skill set, just right click on this and go to the format control. You will get these options how to control this median bar structure. The current value is 0. We haven't seen any kind of value. If suppose I mention as a 1 with respect to this, and the minimum value I'm also mentioning as a 1, and the maximum value I'm just mentioning as 50, corresponding to that value. In incremental, obviously one value every time it's going to be incremented. And page change, I'm just entering as a 1. Select cell. If suppose I selected this cell, so okay, if I suppose I selected that cell, so it will go into print that cell. If I click on OK, so you can see this cell is going to be changed when I click on this, incrementing. So according to that, I am just showcasing this one. Okay, this year kind of the thing. It will go and increment the every kind of the value according to that. So if I go to this format control, whatever we had, you can see A13 what we had. So according to that, we are going to be enter with respect to corresponding value what we had. So yeah, so we have already written some of the other, like 13th value, so that it's going to be give the same kind of the results. So like that, it's going to be perform some of the operations whenever you require. Similarly, these operations also, you want to be specified top or bottom, go to the format controls, and you have to specify with respect to the any cells you're going to be specified. That is very helpful to get the details. So yeah, so if I click on this cell, if I click on maybe, yeah, page number may be anything. Yeah, so maximum value is going to be somehow 40, let's take. So if I click, yeah, sorry, if I click enter, if I click enter, you can see the increment, the decrement is going to be happen with corresponding to this value, according to that value, right? So this is how we are going to be operate many things. You can also play around with discuss some of the other buttons what we had, check boxes, and also radio button. So if you want to specify any radio button, you can specify here. So if suppose someone will go and pick up this, check on this button, how does that going to be helpful? You can also go and go to the format control. You will get all the options, which cell is going to be corresponding to, and how does that going to be help us with unchecked or the checked one. Okay, so this is very interesting, I can say, very utilizing options we are going to be handled with corresponding to that. Similarly, you can also draw maybe the plot corresponding the data set what we had. So I'm just checking with respect to some other things. This is the checkbox, right? So whatever the drag box you can say called as for the revenue, that's everything is going to be increased. If you want to know about that, go to the format cells. You will give some of the options. The cell consists of this number and also the input range. So I'm just specifying the input range from A23 to, okay, so from A23, that number to A26. That means we are going to be get all the input range from the cells. Similarly, the revenue or the next sales, the x-axis and also the y-axis, you can play around with according to that. You can see the revenue is correlated with them, both of them. That's the reason we are getting as a straight line. So okay, so let's go and more detail with respect to maybe the other formulate or the bar plots what we had going to be plot. Okay, thank you.